Karl Rove's with us now. Karl, good morning to you. I want to talk about a big win for Kevin McCarthy in the House. First, I want to mention this in our Fox polling was the importance of regular news conferences. That's the question we asked, all right? 76% say yes, it's important to do that. Meanwhile, you asked this question about whether or not you are satisfied with how things are happening in the country. How do you feel about things are going today? 70% say they are dissatisfied. We have those flipped around there, Karl. But good morning to you. Welcome to our coverage. What does it mean now when you've got this embarrassing moment from the White House? You got Americans concerned about the future and what's happening today. Meanwhile, you've got a debt limit battle that Kevin McCarthy succeeded at. He got a victory in a House where he has a 4 or 5 vote majority.
Yeah. Well, first, quickly on the poll. The poll shows a weakness in the president's standing among his own base. Younger voters, people of color, women, people on the left of his party, they're discouraged about him. And he's got a problem with swing voters. Swing voters are concerned about his age, and they're really sour. Independents look more like Republicans when it comes to rating him on the issues than they do Democrats. And that can't be helped by the numbers this morning. 1.1% growth of the economy in the first quarter. It was estimated that it was going to be 2%. That was still down from the fourth quarter of last year, 2.6%. So the economy is slowing down, and that ain't the way that you want to go into an election.
But is it the way to help bring down inflation, though? Isn't that what they said they wanted to do? And so the Fed, I mean, he's a little bit between a rock and a hard place there.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. He's in trouble on that because you're right. Reagan had to go through this, but he was going through it in 1982 and 1981, and the economy was growing by the time you got to 1983, which is the equivalent of this year. So, yeah, you want to get this tough stuff out of the way early and have the economy growing as you come up to your election, and instead it looks like we're slowing down. But as to McCarthy, yes, big victory for Kevin McCarthy. Remember, he has only 222 Republicans. He needs 218, and 16 of them had never voted for a debt increase when they were even under President Trump. And that didn't include the new members who had never had an opportunity one way or the other. So to pull this off is pretty strong. And think about it. Recovering unspent COVID money, limiting discretionary spending, requiring work. You have to look for work if you want to get a government benefit. And the CBO says this would cut the deficit over the next decade by $4.8 trillion. Huge amount. Now, it's not going to be accepted by the Democrats, but it's a good starting point for negotiations.
Karl, we just showed what we found on the major issues and how he is underwater in all of them. His unfavorables still are high, 56%. Okay, so that's kind of the headwinds that he's running into with the announcement earlier in the week. You write this today: Joe Biden's second basement campaign. He hid away in 2020. And now he releases a video to announce that he is running again. You make the case that you can't get away with that. Or can he?
Yeah, well, he's going to try. I mean, this is a gamble. This is a big gamble. The White House is counting on two things. One is that they will have a compliant media that will echo their arguments. And second of all, that the nominee will be Donald Trump. And they beat Donald Trump once before, and he has not gotten better. He's all focused on the past. Election was stolen from me. I'm angry. I'm filled with rage and grievance, conspiracy against me. But this is a gamble. Let's not kid ourselves. What if the Republicans don't nominate Trump but nominate somebody who's forward-looking? And what if the president no longer has a compliant media? Now, that's a big stretch because back to the debt ceiling, we get this passed in the House of Representatives by the Republicans. And what does the Washington Post do? On the front page, it says, define Democratic objections in a move that inched the U.S. closer to a fiscal crisis. Now, this is from Tony Rome, Mariana Sotomayor, and Leanne Caldwell, who are reporters, not editorial page writers. This is supposedly news, but this is what the media is doing. Did they say these kind of things when Joe Biden voted 10 times against raising the debt ceiling when Republicans were in the White House? And do they remember what he said about negotiating in 2011? That it was a great thing and that we ought to have no way or my way or the highway. We ought to have compromise and negotiation over the debt ceiling, and crowed about how he'd successfully negotiated a deal with Republicans in 2011. This is what the media is saying, which is it's the Republicans inching us towards a debt crisis instead of the Democrats who are refusing to negotiate and say you got to pass a clean debt ceiling. he may be right on half of this. Compliant media. We'll see if Team Biden has made a good bet by thinking that it's only going to be Trump that they're going to face in 2024.
I love it when Karl comes on with, you know what? A little secret. Karl doesn't even have caffeine.
No caffeine.
He's that good.
Decaf.
One time he told me, imagine if I did. And we can imagine. Karl Rove, great to see you.
On that last point you mentioned here, put up number one here, our Fox polling shows Donald Trump at 53%, Ron DeSantis at 21%. That's compared to a month ago where DeSantis was at 24%, so slipping a little bit for the Florida governor, our latest poll that came out yesterday.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.